All right, so on your wax paper, you need to draw a perfectly straight line using a ruler or a protractor, something with a straight edge. A little ways from the bottom, we went up about 1.5 inches. That is called your directrix. And then we pick a point, it's pretty random, somewhere in the middle here, a little bit above the directrix. We're going to call that the focus. And we're going to pick some points along the directrix that we're going to use to do this activity. So what we're going to do is we're going to do some paper folding. We're going to take this point A and we're going to fold it over so that it falls on top of the focus point. And then you're going to make a crisp fold. If you use your fingernail or something like a ruler to make that really crisp on the wax paper, it'll make a white line when you unfold it. And we're just going to let that sit for a second. That's going to be part of our parabola when we get done. And then we're going to pick another point. These do not have to be perfectly evenly spaced. It's just another point. We're going to pick a point B a little ways over, and we're going to do the same thing. So you pick the point B. You're going to fold it over so that point B is on top of the focus, and you're going to make a crisp line all the way to the edge, and then unfold it, and you'll have another little white line on there. It's not going to change a whole lot till we get underneath the focus, but I'm just picking some points. Let's pick another point C. Take that point, fold it over so that it lines up with the focus, and you'll get another line. It's not quite as steep. Okay, take a second if you need to. We don't have to rush this. It's going to be the same process all the way across, so if you're feeling like it, you could work ahead a little bit.
Are they all supposed to go like up out of the
You'll see when we get done. It's a big surprise.
Because mine doesn't look like yours.
It doesn't, well, it doesn't have to, because if yours aren't spaced the same, it won't be the same. Okay, so I'm going to pick point D.
Yeah.
I'm going to fold it over to the focus. I'm going to make a nice crisp line. And what you're going to start seeing is these lines down here are going to start becoming a little further apart. There's a little intersection point up here where they meet. It's giving us a little bit of an idea. And I'm going to go over the top of my lines a little bit to do a few more. I'm going to go in here and do a point E. Then I'm going to match up with my focus point like that. And then another point in the middle here. So it's going to cross some of my lines that I've already done, but that's fine. Take point F. And this is not going to have to go very far to fold. And then another one, G. And I'll stop when I get underneath the focus and we'll start looking at it. So I'm going to fold G over on top of the focus. Make a nice crisp line. I'm going to do, I think I'll just go ahead and pick a point that's right underneath the focus now. So if I'm picking a point that's right underneath the focus and I'm going to fold that up, I'm going to end up with a horizontal fold. It's going to be parallel to that directrix and goes across like this. Okay, so how are you guys doing with this left-hand side? Let me see if I can make this show up a little better. Oh, there, you can see it better. So if we take our pencil and we trace whatever line happens to be on the right hand edge here, what is supposed to happen is it'll start getting less and less steep until it meets up with that horizontal line underneath, and you have the left half of a parabola. And then to make the right half, we do the same thing over here.
Blowing my mind.
It's a little bit like string art. If you've ever done string art, it kind of works the same way. So if I keep going this direction, I'm going to make a point H. The only reason I label them is just so you'll know like how many I've done. So the H, if I fold it up to the focus, it's going to be a fold this way, like that. And you'll start seeing the right-hand side a little bit. Another point I, and fold it over to the focus. And try to line that up. This is why you need transparent paper. And the wax makes that nice white line so you can kind of see what you're doing when you unfold it. And then I'm just going to keep going across till I get to the other edge. So J will fold up there. K. I have to turn my paper sometimes to get this to work out. L. I'm going to line that up with the focus. Each point lines up with the focus. And you can start to see the right-hand side of the parabola forming. I don't know if I actually have to go all the way to the right edge for you to get the idea. I'll do one more. I'll do M right there. It's pretty close to the edge. So I'm folding M up to the focus so that that point and the other point are on top of each other. And I am crisping the edge. And so you'll start to see the right-hand side of the parabola form like this. And you could, in theory, if we had a bigger piece of paper, you could keep going. And what would happen on these sides as it goes up and up is these would become almost vertical on the sides if you got more folds. And this uses the definition that we had using the focus in the directrix. I'm going to show you what they're talking about in the definition about each point on the parabola being the same distance. If I take point, let's say point B here, and I were to draw a perfectly vertical line up to where it touches the parabola and measure it, and then draw another perfectly, I should just use a ruler, that would probably make more sense. So we draw a straight line up like that, and then you draw another line where from that intersection point over to the focus and you measure it. What you'll see is that this distance and this distance is the same, and that'll work for any point that is on the parabola. This point is an equal distance here and here, and that's why this works and we get this nice parabolic curve. Those distances come out the same. And that's where I will stop.